The reason why I'm making this video is because I want you guys to have the help that I didn't have when I was learning and when I was serious, because you know, sometimes custom content creators, some, I'm not saying all, this is no shade or anything like that, but sometimes custom content creators just jump to the conclusion that, you know, people want just to be, they're lazy, or they just want help with everything and don't want to learn anything themselves, they're lazy or whatever, when sometimes that's not even the case. I was so serious, I actually looked on different tutorials more than just how to make custom content for The Sims 4. I looked on Blender, so I put things together before, you know, I did all of this, but I don't want you guys to have to go through that, so that's why I'm making this video. Today, I am going to be teaching you guys how to make custom content. I am going to be teaching you guys how I make my hairs. I'm not saying this is the right way to make custom content. I am not saying this is the wrong way to make custom content. I'm not saying that this is the way to make custom content. I am just showing you guys my method and how I make my custom content. So, the first things you will need to do is download the programs that are needed. You will need SIMS4 Studio. I will link all of the softwares and all of the things down below that you will need. You will need SIMS4 Studio, right? You're probably like, what is all of this? Oh my goodness, what do I press? Just go to downloading and installing the SIMS4 Studio, and then go to downloading and installing. If you have Mac, I don't really know. So if you're using Windows, you download the Windows right here. And you click Windows, or you could click Mac if you have Mac. We don't need this tab anymore. And we scroll all the way down. Look at all of the stuff that you can make with SIMS4 Studio. That's why I love it so much, because you can make so many things, and there's so many tutorials up on SIMS4 Studio. So yes, once you go down, you'll press installer or zip. This one, I don't recommend this one, even though it doesn't have like this white shading over it. Even though this one doesn't have that, the weights are fucked up. Literally, like, they're messed up. You'll be walking around here with some stiff ass custom content. Okay, so once you have the programs installed, you also need to install, you know, GIMP. I'll link that down below for you to install as well. Now, before we start any custom content creating, we need to find textures, because without textures, you can't make a hair, right? So what I recommend you do is you go down Pinterest. And you just look, you type in like bundles. You type in bundles. All of these bundles are going to pop up. And I'm going to teach you how to erase the background from the bundles and everything like that. We're going to be doing like a really simple hair today. What's a really simple bundle we could do? I just need to find a quick bundle. But yes, finding bundles take time. They be hiding them bundles up on this website. You will be able to get all of these bundles if you just take your time to go down. So yes, you go down Pinterest and you find some, and you make a one that says brush, because you're using this as like a brush or whatever and stuff like that. So yes, and you save it up in here, and yes, you will have your bundles. Now let's act like you saved the bundle, right? Let's act like you saved the bundle. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna open up our file explorer, and I already have one. It's called for hairs, for texture, and we're gonna find a bundle. Let's do this one. So we're gonna click this and drag it into Blender. Okay, so now that you have this, what we're gonna do to erase the background is we're going to go over here, wherever your layers are in your Blender. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna right click the layer, add alpha channel. Right? Once we do that, we're gonna go to layer, transparency, color to alpha, and it will automatically erase the white. And it's like, it wasn't even there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna erase, we're gonna turn up our brush a little bit. Erase. I recommend you cut on lock to brush view, so when you zoom out it gets bigger, and when you zoom in it gets smaller, so you won't have to keep on turning your brush down over here, and you could just zoom in and zoom out to how big you want it to be. So with making custom content, you have to take your time. Do not try to rush anything, because when you rush it, it looks like it's being rushed. If you make a 5-minute hair, it's gonna look like a 5-minute hair. So here we have it. You have your bundle, sis. This is the first step to making custom content, you guys. Congratulations. You already have done the first step to making custom content. Congratulations. You played yourself. No, I'm joking. Alright, so now that you've done that, now that we have our bundle, we're gonna export as PNG. Alright, it saved as PNG. You want it to save as a PNG, not at any other platform or whatever. Alright, now that we've done our bundle, what we're gonna do, we're gonna click create 3D mesh in SIMS4 Studio. Right here, create 3D mesh, and then go to cast. We're gonna go to, if you want to make a we're making a female hair right today, so we're gonna go down to gender, female, age, adult, part type, hair, and we're gonna go to this one. We're gonna go to the first one because we're making a long hair and we need the weights from the long hair. I'll tell you guys what that is later. You see I have my creating CC folder. So this is a package. We're saving our package file. Save it as whatever you, this is the name, this will be the name of your file when people download it. So mine is like B, I can make it uppercase, B, U, heaps, two. Alright, so we don't need this. We don't need the mesh, the categories right now. We're working on the texture. Alright, we're gonna go to export. Since this is a texture, we're gonna press export. Type in export. Alright, now let's go into Blender, go to open, go to documents, creating CC, textures, and what did we name it? Export. See, I forgot. I forgot that quick. Alright, so once we done, since we've already done our bundle, what we can do here, we can take this layer, click on a layer, and drag it over here on here, just like that. It was that easy, sis. Now once we've exported that, we're going to download a template from Google. I just type in SIMS4 template, images, and then you download your template right here. Bam. I already have one, so I don't need that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up our template, open as layer. Here's my template. Now, listen, these templates don't be fit in the size right. Since we're just gonna scale it up some, we need to make sure it doesn't go over the lines. The lines meaning we don't need it to go over this. Or this is if you don't have your UV and your texture in the right place. Like if you was to put like your hair, this bundle, wait, let me show you. Like if you was to put this bundle right here, where necklaces go, you just putting a bundle up here and you make the hair right here, it's gonna conflict with necklaces, hats, rings, size it. You need to make sure your textures are correct. All right. So let's just size this up according to the template that we have right here, so we won't go over anything. All right, scale, bam. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put this all the way at the bottom. We don't need this anymore. We could just click the eye on here. We don't need this anymore. We can actually delete this. All right, so we have our bundle and our template. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take our bundle and put it where hair is. All right, make sure it's where hair is, no place else besides hair. We're gonna size it down some just to make sure it's not gonna conflict with anything at all. Just gonna size that down. Now, when I say this, before you use a creator scalp, please ask them. Do not just go out taking creator scalp. I use Diverse King scalps because I make my own textures, but I use his scalps. I asked him, make sure, I'm gonna erase all of this because listen, sis, we don't need this. What are we doing? Oh, erase. All right, so I'm gonna erase this up here. But yes, before you use a creator scalp, please ask them or you will be in heat. All right, so now that we have our scalp and we have our hair texture, yo, literally, we have our hair texture here and we have our scalp ready to go into SIMS4 Studio. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna export this as export. You're just gonna overwrite it, press export. All right, export it. We're gonna import the texture from export. Don't worry about this, we don't need this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the meshes. We're absolutely done with everything according to like the texture, your textures. We're done with we're basically done with this. We don't need GIMP anymore. We don't need GIMP anymore. So we're gonna go to export mesh. And now, like I said, creating CC. Now we're gonna go to Blender file. This will be your Blender file. This is the file that you double click on when you wanna, maneuver the hair, when you wanna edit the hair and stuff like that. So yes, we're gonna name it Toot for tutorial or whatever. All right, so we double click Toot. Toot toot. All right, now we're in Blender. This is where we, this is where the magic happens. Yes. All right, so the movements, I'm gonna teach you the mouse movements and stuff. All right, this is me scrolling with my mouse. I'm just scrolling. And then this is me pushing on my mouse and just moving the mouse. So far we know how to scroll and rotate. Ooh, tornado. Whatever. All right. This is to select it. You right click to select. Right click to select. Right click, bam. This is me holding my right click and dragging. If you're dragging it somewhere and you want it to go back to the place like, oh my gosh, what is it? You right click. So yes, you right click to select it, but you also hold right click and to drag it somewhere you want it to go. But if you don't press your left click, it's not gonna stay. I press my left click. And then you go to Control Z to undo. Hello. So we right click, drag, and right click again to put it back in place. Right click. You don't need to hold it. You could just hold it and then let it go if you want to, and then you right click it again to put it back in place. But if you want it to stay over here, you just left click Bam. Period. And then I'm Control Z to undo. All right, so I'm just left dragging this way because I don't need these to be this big. I don't use anything over here, so we don't need none of this. We don't use none of this down here. We only use this down here, right here, just this and this over here. We don't need none of this down here. And if you hear something upstairs, that's my neighbors, I'm sorry. Okay, so once we've done that, we know some of the controls that we need to know so far. So you're like, whoa, what do we do now? We're gonna click the eyes over here. Over here, we're gonna click the eyes. All 3 eyes on all 3 of these. For the basic hair, the basic hair, 3 is these are right here. This is like how your hair would look with a hat on it. These are just that basically the hat meshes. This is the full head. This is how it would look without a hat on. So right now we don't need these, so we just press the eyes to make them disappear. We could click them to make them reappear, you know. All right, so now what do? What we do is we're about to make our mesh, you guys. We are about to make our mesh. So what we do is we're gonna hold Shift and then A. And then we're not gonna do anything down here. We're gonna click Mesh and then Plane. So this is our plane. This is basically one sheet of hair. This is why it's called paper hairs. What I'm gonna teach you is how to make paper hairs, right? So you're like, that don't look like a hair, sis. So what we're gonna go, like I said, I'm rotating by holding my my scroll button. So after we rotate it to the side, we're gonna press R to move it upwards. I'm just pulling my mouse upwards. We're gonna press R twice, and this is to, you know, rotate it. Press R twice, and then we're just gonna do it like that. Rotate it back this way. We're gonna press R again to adjust it. All right, so now we're gonna click S. S is to size, up and down, scale. G is to move around, or you could just use your right click, or you could use G after you've done selected. Okay, so we press S, Z, S and Z to just do this. All right, now that we've done that, just adjusting it with R. Okay, now that we've done this, we're done with that part. We're gonna press Tab, T-A-B, to go into over here, edit mode. Or you can, instead of pressing Tab, you go over here, go object mode, and go to edit mode. Either way. So then we're gonna go over here where our textures are, and go to this, the circle. What is this? Material. Then we're gonna go to new, then go to texture, click new, then go to clouds, and go to image or movie. Now, once you've clicked image or movie, we're gonna go down to open. We're gonna click this, and we're gonna find our texture. Our hair texture is gonna look like this at first, and then you're gonna click your documents or wherever you placed your hair texture at. We're gonna go to creating CC. Like I said, y'all need to make a creating CC folder. Go to textures, and then what did we name it? We need the export. It's gonna look like this. Then we're gonna scroll down to where it says generate. Click generate, you're gonna get this big list. Oh my gosh, what do I do? UV, click UV. It's gonna disappear, don't worry. So then we're gonna scale this back over some. I'm just clicking this, holding this down with my left click, And I'm just, you know, doing that. Like how you would click something, the download button on the hair. Then we're gonna go to this paper thing right here. We're gonna click that. And we're gonna go to export, which is our hair texture. Bam. Now it's onto the hair. Now the back is disappearing. You're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? We're gonna go to this little toolbar right here. Add modifier. Solidify. We're gonna turn this thicken this down some by going to thicken. And we're gonna click it all the way to this 3, or like these numbers right here. Turn into a 1. So now you have both sides like that. So you can see both sides. So now what we do, we're gonna go over here. This is our UV mapping where I'm just scrolling, like how I will scroll down a website. We're on our UV mapping platform. So this works exactly how this will work. So the buttons the controls that I showed you before works exactly the same with this. So we're gonna double A. A is to select all, double A. A is to select. We're gonna scale it down some with the S, right? And just make sure the hair texture, don't let this hair texture be over the square. It needs to be inside of the square and not touching nothing else. It don't need to touch the hair scalp, nothing else. It needs to be this texture needs to be inside of here, right? You should have this on your screen. This should be on your screen, or any texture that you've used should be on your screen. So now that you've done that, we're gonna go over to material. We're gonna just scroll down. We're over here, guys, on material, the circle. Then we're just gonna scroll down. We're gonna go to transparency right here. Then we're gonna go to alpha. We're just left clicking alpha, then drag it all the way down. It then disappeared, and it's supposed to do that. So we're gonna scroll down on our texture as well, and then we're gonna go to all the way down to alpha 1. We're gonna go to alpha right here where it says influence. We're gonna go to alpha, then bam. Here is one strand of hair. You see this? It's not 3D yet, but this is one strand of hair. So now what we do, I use G to move it, or you could easily right click to move it. I'm using G. So now what do we do? To make it 3D, what do we do? This is so, you know, when you in game, and yes, it looks like this on the side, I'm in the front, but when you turn it to the side, it's like, what happened to my stuff? So to prevent that, we're gonna make it 3D. We're gonna make it be visible in the first angle, the side, the front, for the front angle, this side angle, the back angle, the other side angle, the middle angles, you know, just all around, so it could be visible all around. So what we're gonna do is, I'm just pressing my R so you know, adjust the plane. All right, so what we do is you press shift and D. This is to duplicate. We right click for it to stop attaching to it. We press R to rotate it. You're probably like, what the heck? We press R again. It's two modes for R. This is the first mode for R, rotate, and then the other mode for R when you double click it. This is just me rotating my screen with the middle mouse button. All right. Okay. Now, go back to press tab to go back in this mode. Now you don't have the issue to where you're like, bam, we on this side, and then when we turn it to the side, it's not flat because you have it visible for both angles. So now what we do is we go back, we right click this, and then we press tab to get in tab mode. We double click A, shift D to duplicate, and we rotate it to make it visible for other angles as well. You could do as many angles as you want to. I usually just stick with these angles. I just usually stick with the, you know. So this is how it should look. These are all my angles. Now we have, I don't know what this is supposed to be, but y'all, listen, I don't know. So now that we've done that, we're just going to attach it to wherever you want it to be on the head. This looks like left thighs, one of left thighs hairdos. I can make a left thigh hair or something. Cause then she had like this hairstyle and like, what was it? The beautiful, the unpretty song. And we could double click once we're in object mode. When we press tab, we could shift D to duplicate it, and we could just move it to the side. And now it looks like two ponytails. I'm gonna just make a hairstyle or something. Gonna press down some. And there we go. We have our own hairstyle. So now we're done. You guys, did you just make a hair? So what we do is we're gonna go to, remember these, the hats. We're gonna go to the third one. Or whichever one that shows the full head. We're gonna left click this, and then we're gonna press shift. We're gonna hold shift. Actually, no, excuse me. We're gonna select all of these planes because we have to merge all of these for them to merge with these. You probably do not even know what I just said, but just follow me. We're gonna go over here where it says plane 2, shift. If you don't have these, that's just because I have 3 ponytails. That's why it's this. If you only have one plane, that's okay. You don't need to. You can skip these steps. But if you have any like, you have like 50 planes, you have to merge the 50 planes together. By doing that, you just shift click on one of them, highlight it, shift click the other one, and then you just do the last one. Click over here in like your view. You just left click, and then you press Control J. They have been merged. Now we can do this step. Now we go over here to the studio, the S4 Studio Mesh 3. We're gonna press this, then shift click plane. We don't do anything. We go over here where it says object mode, weight paint. We're gonna go over to transfer weights right here. This is what the weights is. When you transfer weights, that's why I say use this, the 2.70, because the other softwares, they don't, no, they weights be messed up. Be having my stuff out here stiff. We don't need that. All right, so now what we do is we're gonna press the eyes on all of them so we can see all of them. We're going to go to Studio Mesh 3. We're gonna press tab. It should be highlighted already. Press X, vertices, delete it. We're gonna press tab again to get back in object mode. We're gonna go to the second one. Out here, tab, X vertices. Other one, tab, X vertices. Bam. All right. So we gotta merge this with all three of these. You're like, it's only one, so why we gonna mesh them with all of these? You just click it. You shift D to duplicate it, and you shift D again. There we go. We got 3 of them. All right. Now what we do, we shift click plane. You just click the plane, then you hold shift, and you click Studio Mesh 3, and you just merge those. Make sure you click when you're merging it with SIMS4 Studio 3. Make sure you click the plane first. So we're just gonna do that with all of them. Remember, click it, hold shift, click the Studio Mesh. Bam. Now you're like, yo, what happened to my ponytails? Why when I turn it this way, it's, you know, disappearing? All right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to for like we did before to make it thick. We're gonna go to here. We're gonna go to the toolbar, add modifier, solidify, scale down to 1. Bam. We're gonna do that with all 3 of them. So we're gonna go to 2. Bam. Add modifiers, solidify, thicken, go down to 1, and then the last one, solidify. Bam. We are completely done with the hair. Congratulations, you guys. You guys have made your own hair in Blender. Yes, you have made a paper hair in Blender. So now what do we do? We go to File. We go to Save. All right. Now we're done. We're absolutely done with Blender. We don't need to go in Blender anymore. Now what do? We go back to SIMS4 Studio. You see where it says LOD? You're going to have to import all of them. You're going to import your mesh into all of these. So we're not going to press export because we already exported our mesh. That's what this is. We're going to go into SIMS4 Studio, go to import this time. You importing the mesh. We're going to go to toot because that's what we saved it as, toot. The toot, we named it toot. We went inside of toot and we made our hair. We saved it as toot. So we gonna import it as toot. All right, you guys, look. Oh, I'm so proud of you. You guys have made a hair. All right, now we go down to LOD1, import mesh, toot. Go to LOD2, import mesh, toot. LOD3, import, toot. All right, we go back to texture over here. We're gonna go down to shadow. If you want a shadow going across the face, then be my guest, my good sis, but I don't want that. So I'm gonna go to make blank. Diffuse, we're going to go back to diffuse. We don't need to touch this. I'm gonna go back to LOD3, 0. I'm gonna go to 0, back to 0 because LOD3 got us looking like a skeleton. We don't be eating meat. Yes, sis, we're back. Back to reality. So now that you're done with the hair, we're gonna go to tools. Tools up here. This is so this white stuff won't be in game. We're gonna go to tools. This is so our stuff can look like this in game, but with our scalp. Right? Bam. We're gonna go to tools, modding, go all the way down to glass shader. Bam. Now once we've done that, we're done with that. We're gonna go into SIMS4 and we're gonna let me stop. All right, save. You press save. Make sure you save it down here. Bam. Press OK. So now we go to packages, because like I said, creating CC, make yourself a CC baking folder so you can have it all organized. We go to packages, packages, not textures. Hello. And we're gonna go to toot, B peeps toot. Oh, like I said, this was gonna be what you named the file when we first exported the package. Alright, now we just gonna move it to our mods folder, and we're gonna open up our game. Alright, let's go to it. Oh my goodness, I'm scared to touch. I'm scared. Okay. It's ugly, but you know what? That's fine. This is how you make a hair. This is how you make a hair in The Sims 4. Obviously, yours would not look like this. Make sure yours don't look like this. This is just a tutorial hair. This is nothing real. A tutorial hair. I'm not using this hair for anything else besides tutorial. Let's see, active. Sal is walking. No, it look okay. I know I had to erase all that stuff on the texture though. I know that. Okay, but yes, this is your hair. You just made this ugly ass hair. But you know what? You gonna make something better than this. I wanna see you make a hair. I wanna challenge you guys using the hashtag BUPeepsToot. I'm dead. BUPeepsTUT. And then at me on your Tumblr post. Hashtag BUPeepsToot. So I can see you guys' creations. I want to see you guys' creations. Join the Discord server if you have any questions about this. Please comment down below. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.